Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second week of Tech Summer School. So, this week we have Google Drive 101. Now, Google Drive is a free cloud based storage application that's accessible from any device with an internet connection. So, with this application, you can safely store and edit files online, and it is a great way to collaborate and share your files with others. In order to access Google Drive, there are three ways you can do so. First, through a web browser. So you would go into your web browser such as Chrome or Firefox, and you would type in drive.google.com, and then you can just sign in using your Google account. So you do need a Google account to use Google Drive. So basically, that's the same thing that you would use to log in to your Gmail account. So your email and your password. The second option is you can install it onto your computer, whether it be a Mac or a PC. So to do that, you would go to google.com/drive/download. And once you get to the screen, you will see two options. One says download Google Drive for individuals and the other download Google Drive for a business. So obviously, if you're using it for personal reasons, you would choose the one that says individual. And the third option is to download it to a mobile device. So to install the app, you would go to your Play Store for an Android or your App Store for an iOS device such as an Apple phone. All right. Now I am going to switch my screen. So I'm going to stop sharing for one moment. Now we are on the Google Drive homepage. So this is what you would see after you have officially logged into Google Drive. So we are currently over here under My Drive. So as you can see, I can see some of my most recent files that I have uploaded, and as you add more, you are going to see more. If you would like to change how you view your files, that would be this option right here. So I currently have it set to last modified. But if you click that, you can see that you can do it alphabetically by name or when it was last opened and so forth. In order to add new files onto your Google Drive, you are going to come to the left side of the screen and you are going to go to this button that says New and that has the colorful plus sign on it. So if you click that, you'll see some options. Our very first option here is to create a folder. So if I click that, I can title my folder. So I'll title my folder To-Do List. And I'm going to click Create. And you can see that that has showed up right here, right next to my other folder of photo albums. Now, I'm going to go back to New. You can also see file upload and folder upload. So that is if you want to take a file or folder that is currently on your device, whether it be a mobile device or a computer, and you want to upload it to the drive. So if I click that, you'll see that this page of all of my files comes up, and I can just either double click or choose and click open to upload it onto Google Drive. So now, let's say I want to create a file. I don't have one currently created, but I want to type something out and then upload that. So because this is a Google application, you can directly go to other Google applications such as Google Docs, which is the equivalent of Microsoft Word, Google Sheets, which is the equivalent of Excel, and Google Slides, which is the equivalent of PowerPoint. So if you want to create a brand new document in any of these, you would just click it and it'll take you directly to that page where you can type up a Word document, for example, and then it'll automatically be uploaded onto your Google Drive. I'm going to move on now to the computers option. So if you click this, you'll see that I currently have no computers syncing, so none of my files are being backed up or synced to Google Drive. But if you do want to, this is another way that you can get to downloading or installing Google Drive onto your PC or Mac. You would just click Learn More. And you'll see it'll show you how to do it for your computer, your Android, or your iPhone or iPad. In this case, you can click either Mac or Windows, depending on which type of computer you have. And when you click that, you will see you can just click Download, Backup, and Sync. And it'll give you step-by-step instructions on how to complete the process. I'm now going to move on to some of the simpler stuff. So recents is going to be as simple as the most recent files that you yourself have looked at. Starred are going to be any that you yourself have deemed as important that you want easy access to. And then trash is going to be anything that you have removed or deleted from your drive that you no longer want. So if it is getting full, you can always go to the top right hand of the screen and say empty trash. But if you do just leave it, as you can see, it says here that items in trash are deleted forever after 30 days. So that's something just to be aware of. If you accidentally delete something or you find that you've removed something that eventually you end up wanting back, you have about 30 days to realize it, otherwise it will be gone forever, at least within the drive. Now, one way to star something or to remove something, I can show you by going back to my drive. I'm going to pick my to-do list option right here. So if I right click it, you'll see that I can say add to starred. And if I click that and then go back to starred, there it is. Or maybe I change my mind and I don't want the to-do list at all, and I'll right click it again. And you will see that you have the option to remove it as the very last option when you right click. So I'm going to say remove, and it's no longer my starred, but now I can find it in my trash. And I'm just going to go ahead and say empty trash and delete forever. And now that to-do list is gone. Now you can see at the bottom here where it says storage, that it'll show you how much storage you have and how much you've currently used up. So anyone using Google Drive automatically gets 15 gigabytes of free storage. Now, if you reach that capacity, then it's up to you if you would want to buy more or just delete something in it and to give yourself more space. So now we're going to talk about collaborating and sharing your files. So I'm going to head back over to my drive. And I'm going to say I want to share this paper. I'm working on a group project and I want to share this paper. So I'm going to right click. And you can see that the third button down is to share. So I'm going to say share. And this screen will come up. So in here, you can type a name that's in your contacts or a email address if you don't have them in your contacts. And once you do that, you are going to see an option to decide how much control they have over the document. So you will see options such as editor, meaning that they can make changes and share with other people and give permissions to other people about what they can do with the document. And then you'll see viewer and commenter, meaning that they can see the document, but they can't really make any changes on it, but they can print it out, make a copy of it, and commenters would be able to comment on the document, but they can't actually change the document. And you'll also see, once you type in a name here, that you have the option to write them a little email, because it will notify them through email that you sent them a document. And you will also see the same thing if anyone ever sends you a document and shares it with you. You should receive an email telling you that it was shared with you and having a link to that document. And I am just going to point out the setting option here. So going back to what we talked about with editors and viewers, you can check and uncheck if you want those options available. So we're just going to get out here. Now I ignored this third option down over here, which we'll talk about now, which is shared with me. So this is going to have any documents that other people have shared with you and sent to you. So for example, I sent this from another one of my Google accounts to myself. So I would be able to use this document. Now, I would like to point out that you do have the option now to block someone if someone that you don't want is sending you things or sending you documents that you don't want. You have the option to block them. Okay. And now I'm just going to move on to our settings option up at the top over here. So if you click this little cog at the top right, you can get to your settings. You can also get to keyboard shortcuts and be able to back up and sync for your Windows computer. But we're going to go to settings. So once again, you have general settings. So it's going to tell you about your storage, give you the option to buy more if you need to. But the thing I wanted to talk about is offline access. So this can be useful if you are going on a plane or just in general, for whatever reason, do not have access to the internet. If you want to be able to make changes to your files that you have on Google Drive, you can always check this and it will allow you to have access offline. Now, I will point out that it says that it's not recommended on public or shared computers. So just keep that in mind. Whenever you work offline, you probably want to do it from your own personal device. I'm going to check that. And then it also gives you options for notifications if you want to get notified about updates, if you want other people to be notified, so forth. Now, one more thing that I do want to make clear is that you are not limited to only having files that are compatible with Google applications. You can upload PDFs as well as Word documents. As you can see here, this paper .x is a Word document, which is why it has this W icon. And the formatting should remain the same when you upload a Word document onto here. Now, one last thing that I'm going to mention before we wrap this up is if you are familiar with other storage applications such as OneDrive or Dropbox, but you've decided you want to switch over to Google Drive, you can take your documents from those storage applications and bring them over here. One way to do that would be a little bit tedious. It would be downloading each file from your Dropbox or OneDrive and then uploading them onto Google Drive. Or there are other ways that you can go through a third-party application. One such application is called Multcloud. That would be MULTCLOUD. And basically you would then have access to all of your files, whether it be Dropbox, OneDrive, or Google Drive, and you can easily move them over one to the other. One thing to be aware though of is if any of those files that you are moving over are shared files, you most likely will need to reshare them once you upload them into Google Drive. If not, then most likely the document will not be in sync. So if you or the other person makes changes within the document, you might not be able to see them, or they might not be able to see those changes. So just something to keep in mind if you do choose to move from one storage application to Google Drive. But that is the basics of using Google Drive. I hope this class was useful for you, and enjoy your day.